the report you have to make, and you have to communicate to your relevant audience. Okay, so relevant audience means your classmates and other stakeholders. Okay, so that's what you're going to do here in this next 15 minutes. You're going to talk about what are your findings, how you went about the research, how you manage your project, and then successfully implemented it. Okay, so initially the title we selected was the impact of AI on a functional area of Dubai Electricity and Water Authority, DEWA. Okay, and that's my name, and we're going to take a look at how I managed and implemented the small scale business objective. So first, we'd like to get a perspective of how AI is impacting DEWA's operations, because the topic is saying so. So you look at recent developments at DEWA, portraying the robotics, then you have the chatbots, okay, assistants, all that shown in a picture. So this has been borrowed from their website. So in manufacturing, solar panels, they are using robotics against automation. And for R&D also they are using automation. So these are some of the captures which shows the impact of AI on DEWA operations. So to summarize it, we'll see that how DEWA has been making a big employment of AI in their operations starting 2024 as per the strategic vision of His Highness Sheikh Mohammed. That is the AI strategy 2031, and generative AI tools including the ChatGPT, Ramas, that's what they call them, and Microsoft 365 Copilots. They also introduced Microsoft as key cases, and they already started collecting the data, okay, and then analyzing the data. So which has ensured 99.62 digital adaptation and 96.7 customer satisfaction and 90+ on the integrations of the data. And also we have seen how they are using robotics and automation on operations, okay, which is a direct implementation of AI. Then enhanced service speed, CX and operational efficiency. So first UAE utilization to deploy the Gen AI. So website, they are able to generate bills. Also their website showing the energy utilization per customer. So if you have download their app, DEWA app, it shows what is the your utilization vis-a-vis the other person's utilization, and it shows that how you can average out, or you can increase or decrease your utilization to match the average or better it. So predictive analytics again using AI. So these are some of the AI applications of DEWA. Then sustainability link, obviously they are targeting net zero as per the what you call as the strategies of Dubai strategy 2030 and 2050 as per His Highness Sheikh Mohammed's vision. So we look at because it's a project management endeavor, we look at the aims and the objectives. So the first aim is to assess the extent of AI integration in DEWA operations, which we talked of a little bit here there. Then to evaluate the role of data infrastructure, human capital and organization readiness, to analyze the impact of AI related enablers on operational efficiency, to provide recommendations and to reflect on the project execution. So these are the project aims and objectives. So if you look at the project life cycle, which has been borrowed from Workforce. So initiation, planning, execution, monitoring, closing. So initiation of this project was planning for the research project. Okay. So it was initiated with the submission of your first assignment from the LMS. and then we have taken note of what to do, the tasks. Then we have gone in and finalized the topic for the assignment. Then as per the PSN set, then we have taken a look at how to go about this. Okay. Then the second stage was the planning. So planning is we develop the literature review, then formalize the conceptual model, then formalize the hypothesis, then also formalize the methodology. Then we have set the timelines for the project, produce the WBS and the Gantt chart. That's the planning part. So execution was setting the questionnaire in place and loading it on Google form, and then started collecting the data. Okay, that's the execution part. Monitoring has been done throughout because most of the tools like Google form is automated. Then we can monitor and control the way the responses are giving, okay, on a daily basis. And if the responses are less, we get in touch with them to respond with the request. So that's the way of monitoring the project. And of course, the closing was once all the data is collected, we analyzed the data findings and made the recommendations and reflected on that. So that's the final stage. So if you look at all the stages, it will come through in the report. So explaining the first two stages, that is initiation, that I am already summarizing it. So identified the research problem and focused on evaluating the impact of AI on the operations of DEWA. Then establish the research aim and objectives. That is what we did in the chapter 1. And planning is developing the PMP, the WBS which I discussed. So what are the various stages, chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, milestones of each, the sub-milestones activities, all plotted onto a WBS in the Gantt chart. And what was the risk assessment, how to control the quality, the deliverables, the cost. Okay, so these are the major components of our project, so which we have controlled. Okay, that was in planning using the PMP tool. Then the execution, distributed the structure Likert scale questionnaire to 70 DEWA stakeholders, collected the responses via Google form, and then analyzed the same using SPSS and Excel. Then monitoring and controlling, engaged in weekly supervisor consultations, logged progress updates, and tracked the response rates using the Google form because it shows very clearly how many responses come, looking at the timeline, and also analyzing the milestones. So just in case if something is going wrong, we get the details and we can improvise on the stages which are left. Then ensure adherence to the schedule and resolved data quality or interpretation issues in the real time. That is the chapter 4. Then closing is we close with the finalization, summarize the findings and recommendations, and use the GIPS cycle on the reflection for the whole project. So that's the WBS, the BWS what we have developed. So if you look at the task description, the subtasks all built into the Gantt chart, date-wise matching with the date of the initial assignment time and the start time and the end time shown very clearly, and all the milestones plotted. Then we're taking a look at the project cost sheet. This is the estimated costs. Because the literature review, you have to use various institutional databases. Okay, then we have to look at the survey testing, then data collection and cleaning using the tools. Okay, so it shows very clearly the cost that was initially planned, and we have controlled it throughout the project. Then how we met the research objectives to assess the influence of AI, integration capabilities, then to evaluate the DEWA's data infrastructure, including the data management practices, to analyze the effect of human capital factors, okay, and to examine the contribution of the infrastructure of the DEWA to handle AI projects. So next thing is the chapter 2, which we identify the gaps. We downloaded using the title and the keywords. We managed to get a sizable amount of literature from the current Google Scholar database and filtered it off to the last 4 years. Then we have studied on what are the gaps. So the gaps have helped us to establish the conceptual model and the hypothesis. That's the conceptual model. So we come out with the hypothesis using the theoretical framework that is based on TOE, the RBV, the dynamics capabilities, and the Sociotechnical Systems Theory. So it shows how the operational efficiency depends on the AI integration capabilities, data infrastructure, human capital, and AI skills, and the organization readiness for AI. So the same thing has got mentioned as hypothesis, showing the relationship, and we would like to test this relationship using the survey questionnaire to the stakeholders and getting the response and analyzing them. So what are the methodology we are going to use? That's the research onion for you. As per established Saunders research onion. So we're seeing the 7 different layers of the research onion. So since we established the conceptual model and the hypothesis, which is empirical, exploratory type of research, and then we would like to test it using the research methodology, which is based on positivism and realism, because we are going to use detective style of approach, because it's not anything we already established and want to test it. We are going to establish or not approve the established theory hypothesis, what we are going to look at. So what are the strategies? We are going to use a survey method, and it's a mono method because we have restricted time frame of just 2 months to complete the whole project. So keeping in mind, so we adopted the mono method, and it's a cross-sectional one-time sampling, okay, using random sampling and sending emails, and also using the social media. And that's the various methods we adopted. So once we have done this, we have disseminated the survey questionnaire through Google form, approximate sample size of 70. So we use the Google form and the social media and the professional networks as LinkedIn, Meta X, and other social media platforms. So if you summarize the research methodology, so philosophy is positivism, as I said, because it's based on the empirical hypothesis which you have developed and the conceptual model. And what's the justification? Because it's objective measurement and generalization. Okay. The approach is deductive because we are using hypothesis testing, which is based on theory. Then strategy is using a survey, which is efficient and standardized data collection. We're using a cross-sectional because a one-time survey is not done. Then the technique is the questionnaire and quantifiable metrics using the Likert scale. And the analysis is the Excel and the SPSS regression and correlation. So these are the various responses. Total of 70. That's the income range against the gender. So which is shown in the graphs. Then the various disposition of the workplaces of the people who have responded. And then we have taken the look at the income to see whether that's got any correlation with your responses. Okay, and income range and gender has been analyzed. So correlation has been established. So we see that the first box, that is the AI integration, is a very weak positive, and data infrastructure also is weak, human capital weak, and organization readiness is also very weak. So basically it indicates that's the correlation between the various variables that is between the independent variable and the dependent variable is not very high. This is possibly due to the disposition of the respondents, basically because they are stakeholders and they are not expert in analyzing the AI and its usage in the DEWA operations. So that could be a real indication. That could be a limitation also, because next time we would like to also interview 15 to 20 people who are experts in this and see how AI can be really utilized in an infrastructure company like DEWA. Okay. So what are the findings? Human capital shows the strongest positive correlation, and data infrastructure has a weak negative correlation indicating integration challenges. So because they have a lot of old data and this is something new they introduced, so they need to integrate both this data. So that's why most of the responses were not sure whether how DEWA will be able to integrate this. Okay. So objective 1 was AI integration, which is very weak correlation and regression values. So hypothesis 1 not supported. Similarly, weak negative association indicates inefficiencies. Hypothesis 2 not supported. Okay. Similarly, hypothesis 3 partly supported because moderate association observed and minimal impact observed. Hypothesis 4 not supported. So you see that most of the hypotheses not supported. So one of the major reasons I feel is because we have used the stakeholders who don't have adequate knowledge on the operations of DEWA and how AI can impact the operations of such a big company. So it's only a what do you call surface, on the surface knowledge they have. So they're not able to get in-depth questionnaire answer. So it indicates our limitation that next time we should be looking at expertise consultation or expertise interviews to test this hypothesis. So what are the cost objective synthesis? That is theory practice gap exists due to early stage AI implementation and data limitations. So this alignment may be due to early stage implementation, which is very clear, or fragmented or under optimized data systems, varying levels of staff awareness or involvement in the AI projects. Just now, that's what I told you about. The stakeholders were not able to give you sufficient knowledge on their survey, and lack of visible linkage between the leadership strategies and the front-end operational processes. So these are the findings of the recommendations are they need to invest in the human capital, they need to enhance the data infrastructure, because this is all starting stages for DEWA. They should do more of these to ensure that the operations are better and AI is fully stabilized in the infrastructure of DEWA. And they can optionalize readiness, focus on the high impact use cases, implement change management. So all this will help the organization to really fully implement the AI in the organization. Okay? So only the human capital shows the modest impact. So further success hinges on the upscaling and tech integration. So it clearly shows that DEWA employees need more training and more upskilling of their, especially in the AI and the usage of AI at the various operations. So what's the originality and the contribution? So unique UAE-based empirical analysis using the various theories which I already stated earlier, holistic understanding of the socio-technical and strategic dimensions of AI adoption in public infrastructure,